Well, I'm joined in the studio now by the singer-songwriter Gregg Brown, who's been watching this debate with considerable interest. Gregg, you are, of course, African-American. That's where you were born and brought up. Why is the Confederate flag such a potent symbol?
Well, it represents a bygone era for some people. For some people, it represents rebellion. I mean, I feel really silly saying this, but I mean, when I was a kid, I used the flag, the Confederate flag. It didn't represent anything to do with slaves or anything to me at that time. It represented rebellion, the whole history that goes behind it, all the politics that go behind slavery, and the fact that they still have it flying on state capitals in America, it's appalling.
How common is that flag in places like South Carolina and elsewhere in the United States? I
think it's prevalent throughout the states. Mind you, I haven't lived in the States for since 1980, and that's probably one of the reasons why.
But you do go back there.
I do go back. I do go back, and obviously, occasionally, I'm confronted with these issues that have America has a problem. You know, there's a deep-seated racial problem that no one's addressing on either side, and that problem has got to be addressed. Until that happens, we're going to, unfortunately, and my heart goes out to the people and their families.
And we're not talking about, when you talk about problems, we're not just talking about, you know, people not liking other people, not wanting to see. I mean, we're talking about people taking guns and killing.
I have said some very overtly strong, I made some strong statements on Facebook recently about the recent events, you know, policemen shooting unarmed black men. And now this situation in South Carolina with this young boy. There are issues that need to be addressed because there is a war going on in America. Whether people want to admit to it or not, there is, you know, there's a war going on. I mean, you've got policemen shooting unarmed black men. Now you've got a young kid going into a church, you know, killing, you know, people who are praying and singing spirituals. One question I don't think that has been asked is, did this kid act alone?
Well, that question is being asked because obviously an investigation is taking place. But you were talking about all the recent incidents with the killing of unarmed black men, the shooting of them, and you were so moved by it that you actually wrote a song about it. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm working with a chap by the name of Phil Ramachan, and
That's the Grammy Award.
Yeah, he's a Grammy Award-winning songwriter. He wrote a song called Buffalo Stands for Nana Cherry many years ago. He's won Grammys with blues artist, American blues artist Keb Mo. And so we were writing songs when this thing happened. And that kind of steered us into coming up with a song that he's singing. And myself and a young jazz singer by the name of Lily Dior is singing the backing vocals. It's a song called Silence in Your Eyes. And we do sing, there's a second chorus that says, I can't breathe, you know. And it's a reflection of what's happening in America.
Well, let's take a listen. We've got a clip of that. Let's just listen in.
What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do when all that we had is gone? How are we gonna live? When are we gonna change? Listen, what can I do? Leaving it up to you, telling your heart to choose. It's never easy trying to find your way out of the storm. Silence in your eyes.
That's a song there written by Gregg Brown, who's, of course, in the studio with me. Very touching, very lovely sort of sound there, very kind of emotional. And, of course, let me just for the benefit of our viewers, you also wrote a song when Damilola Taylor was killed in Britain here, a song that immortalized his memory with a whole bunch of music artists here. But we're talking about this incident in America. Is it your sense that this latest tragedy will do anything to change that situation of war that you talk about in America? Unless
Americans, both black and white, address this deep-seated issue. It's the type of thing that it doesn't matter how successful you are as a black man in America, there are certain clubs you can't go to. There are certain situations that you can't enter into because of the color of your skin. Until people admit that and deal with the deep-seated racial issues and divide, until black people are able to stand up and ask that question and deal with those issues. And also, you know, Anglos, white people, you know, they have to stop trying to say, oh, well, it's just another issue. No, it's an issue that could take a life. It's an issue that could, if it spirals out of control, that could take your life or take that guy's life. So these are issues that have to be asked and dealt with on both sides, you know, black and white.
Gregg Brown, thank you very much indeed. And just before you go there, just tell me where we can get, when's that single coming out, that song coming out?
That single will be coming out on iTunes, I would say, within a month's time. And thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your being here.